welcome to the Third Eye Trio. This is Mona Me. I will be delivering a message today, and I will determine if it is where I think it's from. Okay, I can go ahead and tell you. I think it's from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and this reunion. That was my meditation for today. So, a couple of things. Let me just preface this by saying that I am going to go ahead and do the disclaimer. For this particular, let's see if I can find that. And I'll just verbalize it because, and at the end, if I can, I'll put the disclaimer. I'm still navigating my way through this, even though I've done quite a few videos, I am still kind of navigating my way through the editing. So this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use. And for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so, and I'll just go and say these things are alleged in my opinion, and this for entertainment purposes only. However, we do know that these are the cards. This is the message that is being delivered. Okay, I want to preface this about the reunion of season 9. And with the reunion, I want to say that I don't think that these are recaps, reviews, or reunions of the show that we're actually watching on TV. These are recaps, reunions of the social media. And I think that does a disservice to the show itself, because, you know, I think, and in my opinion, that the producers have gotten so wrapped up in the what's going on in social media, be it good, bad, or indifferent. When they get to the reunion, that's the question, the line of questioning. And so I really think, you know, it would have been fair for the cast to say, I'm not going to answer that, you know, on some of the questions that were being asked, because they were very inappropriate. And if we're talking about employment, employee relationship, I don't think that I'm gonna refer to him as CK. I don't think that he should have hosted the reunions, because it puts them in a compromising position, and it's no longer an employer-employee relationship, because at that time they have certain rights and certain lines that shouldn't be crossed. That's just my opinion. I have been, you know, the supervisor, director, manager in many capacities, and the questions that were asked of the employees, I would have never asked. That's where I'm coming from here. Okay, so the elephant that's in the room It's not in this room. It's out. The cat's out the bag at this point. But the elephant that was in the room that was not on the reunion, but we kind of had some leeway from it or about it before the actual reunion, was the main cast member leaving the show. Now, the message that I'm getting is that it was a good idea for her to leave the show. She did what she had to do for herself, for her safety. But there's a kind of a double-edged sword there. I think it was good. Whatever decision she made for herself was the idea, the best thing that she did for herself. Now, and we have to respect that. I know that there were a lot of different opinions from the content creators as to what she did, what she should have done, and how it looks or how it didn't look. And then, that's okay, because we all have our opinions. And when you're saying, in my opinion, that's what you're giving. But you have to be careful, because you don't know all of the moving parts here. I think it was a great decision for her, because, it was it was inflammatory, what the cast was doing to her relationships, her business relationships. I don't think for those who were supporters of her village, her tribe, her community, those people will not falter. They're not going to turn against her. See, I think the misconception is that she created this village, but she didn't. She did not create this village. This village was created for her. This village, this community, was created for her because of the things that she endured while she was on the show. And community is very important, because in this situation, let me just pause it for just a second. Okay, so her community was very important, and I'm glad that she actually had this community around her, and I really wish she still had this community around her that kept an eye on her. Now, sometimes when you have all the times, when you have a community, when you have a village, when you have a tribe, when you have people that come together to support you, to protect you, to instruct you, to guide you, they come in many forms and fashion. There were a lot of content creators who literally thought that her community was damaging to her. And in some cases it could have been, but I don't necessarily feel that they were. I think the intentions were good, but we do know that the good intentions, paved the way to hell. But I don't think it was the intentions of these people that surrounded her to protect her. And I think the more fired up her enemies got, the more fired up her community, her protectors, her soldiers, her warriors. Now you have to remember that God has soldiers and warriors. Now they may not fight in the way that you think they do or that they should, but they can make the walls of Jericho come tumbling down, and you best believe that. And that can be simply with a march. So these people marched and they fought and they prevailed in a lot of ways. Now, do I condone all of their activity? I cannot say that, but I can't even say I know all of their activity. I'm not saying that I'm a millimeter. I'm not saying I'm not a millimeter. I don't know what that entails to its entirety. I know that I was a supporter and I was somewhat a fan of the show in the beginning. Now, this was about this was really about the show. Now here's the cards, the oracles that I pulled, and I really believe that this was for Melody Cherie. You know, the oracle, she got break free, meditate, collaboration, and pray. These cards are very important, and I'm going to tell you why. She broke free from that that was no longer aligned with what serves her higher self and aligned with God. She broke free. So for that reason, I think that this was a good decision for her. Now, she meditates and she prays, and she did it in collaboration. Now, when you're doing meditation and prayer, one of the most important things that you can do along with that is fasting. Now, I think that's one of the things that we're missing as far as with the meditation and the prayer and collaboration, because if you come before him in two or more, it's even more powerful. Now, with the meditation, and I know that she did the fasting personally, because when she did the fasting back in January, I actually participated in that fasting, and it was unbelievable for me, my experience. Now, the actual activity, because fasting gives you clarity, and I was going through a journey practicing obedience and consistency, and you get clarity and your discernment elevates, advance when you do fasting. We did it, I think, for 24 hours with prayer. Now, if you're fasting, make sure that you are meditating and you're praying, and do it in collaboration with like-minded people. Fasting is not optional for God's people. It aligns you with heaven's power. It allows you to align with God, to take back what the enemy has stolen. That was very important for her. It allows you to walk in power, because she's taking back her power when she broke free from this cast or this project that she was on. Now, it doesn't say that she will necessarily do it for the long haul, but she's got to take back her power, and this is the best way that she could do it. Now, did I? Yes, I did. I'm still taping. It also, it breaks chains. You see here? It breaks chains. So that fasting, and even though it was reported that she left the show in December, she told her fan base in I want to say January, sometime after the fast, but she was able to break those chains with the fasting, because even though you make a decision, and even if CK did not believed that she was going to leave, because most people, she was sitting in a great position in his eyes. But, you don't know, what a person is actually enduring, because even, whatever job that you're on, you may find that you put on a good face for everything. And that's what Christians do. We put on good faces for everything. That's how you're supposed to show up, that you're still being blessed, even when you're going through some things. But I am under the impression that she continued to fast in private, in secret, but it sharpens her discernment. You gain clarity, as I've said, and you fast also to prepare yourself for spiritual warfare. So was she prepared for the show? Yeah, I think she was, because it's the key. That fasting, in collaboration, in prayer and meditation, prepared her for survival for the coming days, which was the reunion. And it's not just the reunion. We all need to be preparing ourselves for the coming days. Fasting is truly what makes the difference between defeat and victory. Hold on. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure where I stopped. I did have to take that call, and I hate to interrupt like a reading to do that. But let me just make sure I did say welcome to the Third Eye Trio. This is Mona Me. I'm here with a message in the video. Okay, so now first I wanted to make sure I address these cards, and I really believe this is Melody Cherie, and probably in her leggings that she just showed on her show. I know she did her TikTok, but this is important. Nothing is by mistake. Okay, so look at this 5. 5 is this break free. 5 talks about change and conflict and instability. So she had to break away from these chains, breaking free from the conflict. And, these chains represent her releasing and relying on the things that she could invest in without the negativity that was associated with the other project, which was Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, she has to consult her higher self, and that's a 9 in numerology. If you're looking at numerology, this is fulfillment. She's looking for self-fulfillment and the things that she envisioned for her life in this meditation and prayer and fasting. She can get those things because she will have discernment. She will be able to walk in her own power and in her authority by doing things without these attachments of this ball and chain. Now, I did mention in a video before that she needed to cut some ties. Her desire, because she is a water sign, and even though she's a Scorpio too, and they represent differently or present differently from like a Cancer who's loving and nurturing and what have you, but because she is a water sign, she does have those same characteristics of being loving and nurturing and wanting things, such as the Pisces, wanting things to be a certain way. But the thing with the Scorpio, you have to be careful, because they will give, they will give, they will give, they will love, they will nurture, they will protect, but they will also protect themselves. So hers comes with a stinger. So, but with this collaboration, and I think this collaboration here, this is a 3. So 3 in groups and growth and expression. So she's expressing herself greatly in the TikTok world. Her collaborations with TikTok, her collaborations with her spirit team, her collaborations with her fan base, her village, also with different companies associated with TikTok, such as Goldly, etc. She's going to be self-fulfilled. She will be successful here. She will be successful, but the prayer goes along with the meditation and the fasting. The fasting in collaboration is with fasting also, because she is doing it not just by herself, in secret, in private, and she continues to do that, but she did it with the masses. And so that gave her the ability to use her spiritual weapon. That is a very powerful weapon, and you need to know that as a Christian or someone who walks tries to align themselves with the higher source, which is God for me. Now, with I'm going to continue this without even looking at any cards, because this is my a reading, but it's also slash a commentary. So in addition, her separating herself, and that's why I think I'm separating it from the cards here, and I'm gonna turn this way just so you can see the cards here, because I'm not for sure if you can see it from the side. Separating herself from the cast. There's a separation, there's a divide, which was a necessary evil. This 9 here, once again, in prayer, I told you, in prayer, she will get fulfillment. She will get fulfillment by collaboration, once again, with meditation and breaking free. There's a change that was inevitable for her. So, let me talk about the reunion for a while, and I hope that I don't make this video too long. Okay. So in the reunion, and I've done this reading before, and I kept saying I need to do it, but I wanted to give some people a chance. You know, I didn't necessarily want to expose people, because I think for them, you know, if you allow a person to continue to talk, they will reveal and they will expose themselves. And in this reunion, the person that I think really exposed themselves, drum roll please, it was Letitia Scott. Miss Ma'am, we see you. I mean, we really see you. And poor Letitia, because she thought that she was smarter than the average bear. We thought it was, okay, we allowed her to say in the interview with CK and Dustin, and I'm not for sure who the other party was in that interview with Letitia. We allowed her to say, it was Martell. Now, Martell kind of set himself up for that. But what Letitia failed to realize was that Martell is aligned with who she sent to do her dirty work. And there's a stronger alliance between Destiny and Martell than Tisha could ever imagine. But Martell used everybody on the show. I'll say that. I'll go out. He used everybody on the show to do his dirty work. He packed batteries and back So Letitia thought she would learn from who she thought was the master, which was Martell. So she's been packing bags with batteries all along. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you go back to season 1, the reunion, in season 1, when Letitia stated, and this is true, my dog is there to confirm it, and you need to know that animals are even more spiritual than we are, and they are more obedient than we are, and they're not told that what they see or what they approve of does not exist. And so sometimes that's confirmation. So go back to season 1, the reunion, when Letitia made the comment that Martell asked Marceau, did Melody ask or want to become intimate with Marceau? That's very critical, because Letitia, that's been in her head, and she's been wanting revenge since then for that very incident. Because, you think about it, if you have a quote unquote, and I'm using air quote, if you have someone that you consider a friend, which I never thought that she considered Melody a friend, I think she's always considered Melody as competition. Not that they were on the same level, but she's always that person that she, admittedly or not, aspired to be, even though Melody was younger than her. Melody had a lot to offer to this group, whether they want to admit that or not. At the when they came back for the 40 acres and a mule, so to speak, Kimmy stated that because she said, we can't do this without Melody. So whether they liked it or not, Melody was the key to their success. And when they lost that success, that was it for Tisha. First, you think that she wants your husband, which that is ludicrous. But with Marceau, he's not gonna say that never happened. No, I'm not saying that he ever said that she did, but he did share with his wife what Marceau had, inquired about, be it true or not true. That takes his stock up. But it also puts Letitia in competition with Melody. So, no, Melody never inquired or asked or offered any sexual favors to Marceau. Don't be ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's unheard of. That's inconceivable. Nobody is going to believe that but Letitia, because she feels that her husband, if she wanted him, somebody else wanted him. But I'll give you an incident that she said on the show. She won't admit it, but Melody is the person she aspires to be. She'll never admit it because she said, I'm not jealous, won't be jealous of anybody ever. But you are. And it's an unhealthy jealousy, because just as you felt like Melody was trying to ruin your marriage, I digress. Okay, just as you thought she was trying to ruin that for you, you were trying to ruin that for her, because you guys, you meaning the friend group, you felt like you had a certain control, or Martell was controllable in the absence of Melody. And Melody even made that comment when she said that they can get around Martell and convince him of certain things, and he was controllable by them with Maurice's Martin Luther King speech, or with Marceau's attempt at being Socrates, which, none of that works for anybody who actually is of that level. Not to say that I am, but I'm not saying that I'm not. But I knew that it was a load of bullcrap. And him just telling you, because when he got on his social media page and said, if you don't believe what we're saying, if you don't believe what I'm saying, then you're stupid. Socrates has never had to tell anybody that they were stupid in order to not think like he did. So, no, that's a no. That's not intelligence. That's manipulation. Okay, so now, also, Letitia, let's go back to you, because you tried to use Destiny as a weapon. But Destiny was using you as a weapon also. She exposed you. She exposed you for Martell. Now, Marceau told you, no, I don't like that. I don't like that connection. But you said, I like her. I like her, because you thought you could use her against Melody. Now, another incident, you thought that you could use Carson Blue against Melody. And I'll tell you why and how. The mere fact that you invited her to the tea party when you knew the reason she became significant, you wanted to weaponize her against Melody. Now let's go back to Destiny. Now, when you and Destiny, whether it's for the show or whether it's in real life, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving you what you present, and this is what my thought, my discernment was here. You became friends with Destiny is when Destiny felt slighted when Melody was I don't want to say defending or stating the obvious between Destiny and Tiffany. And this was at the beginning of the Hot Girl Summer. So, and this was kind of around the time. So where you thought you were using Destiny, Destiny was using you too, because you appeared to be re-entering the workforce. Black looked like it was on the rise. And you were, I want to say, sporting the drop top. Destiny wanted that. And in my opinion, Destiny is not seeker. She's not a seeker of friends. She's a seeker of sponsors. Now, what you failed to realize in that connection was that it was not about I gotta get my charger. This was not about a this was not about your connection, or whether you can weaponize Tiffany, or not Tiffany. You could weaponize Destiny, or Destiny could weaponize you, but you were all working for the same person, but you didn't know it. But you kind of did know it, because you knew what Martel had done, and you admitted it. You said it. You said, we knew, we all knew. It was your fault if you wanted to still be with someone that cheated on you. That's your fault. That's what you said. But you said that after. You said that after you realized that you could, that he was going to turn against you. But what you didn't account for, this is where it was, you didn't account for the fact that there was a stronger alliance between Destiny and Martel than you could ever have with Destiny. That's why she exposed you at the reunion. Because Martel blames you for the ending of his marriage, especially when you exposed him. You removed all possibilities for any reunion or reconciliation with his wife. When you said, yep, we all knew. We all knew. So, regardless of how it looks, how he looks like he's with you, conspired with you, he's never going to forgive you. So that's the attack on you. That's the attack on you. And that will always be the attack on you. Because, and Destiny knew that she was exposing you. Destiny has no friends, no true friends. Or there are people who will be friends to Destiny, but I don't know if she knows how to be friends with people. And I'm not her psychiatrist or psychologist. And this is not a dig at her, but I think she could benefit from one. And just because of her life experience, that it would be helpful if she could lie on somebody's couch and say it all started when. And I don't mean that person that she has on, what is it, Mental Mondays or whatever that is. I don't think that's, she needs someone who specializes in that. And, you know, we can all afford to talk to someone, but sometimes we need a little bit stronger of a medicine or a dose than others. Okay, so you tried to weaponize Destiny, but she was really weaponizing you for Martell. And see, you guys, you think that Martell is not. He may not have the whole picture. I think his problem is he doesn't do the vision board for his plans. And so he never looks at the whole picture. But he uses pawns as needed. Not he has not mapped the whole thing out. So but I don't understand why you would allow Destiny in your space other than to weaponize her. So that is my take on that. Now, I also felt like you tried to weaponize your mother against Melody because of all of this disdain that you've had for Melody throughout. You've used your mother. I think you've used Kimmy. I think you use Maurice, even with that first reunion. I don't know what he was talking about. You know, he was trying to chastise Melody and Martell, but what Letitia said in that was more harsh than anything that Melody or Martell had said. But he felt like he didn't want the fire to get too close to him. So, you know, that was deflection, in my opinion. That was deflection. Okay, calm down. Don't say too much. Don't name names. And so that was what he was saying. If you get a chance, go back to season 1, the reunion. And but I think the biggest thing that you did not account for was the alliance that Martell had with Destiny. But let me just kind of go towards, okay, because now we know that your main cast member has departed from the show. Do I think that it will be an opportunity to grow? Will the show still exist? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm going to say no, but let's just kind of look at the cards and see what they say. I'm going to say no. I saw the judgment card there, so I'm thinking that this show judgment will come down, and it will be karma for the show with her leaving. So yeah, she's going. You actually may have an opportunity to stay, but that may be the yes to the karma that the show will get for, yeah, that's what it is, will get for not, for Melody leaving the show. But Melody is going to get some, have a new idea, fresh start, which we're seeing that now with her, no, the show won't, because there's still going to be some betrayal, backstabbing, calculated trickery in the back. So no, the show won't. And I said in a previous reading, I don't think that your union, Letitia, and with Marceau with your family will be strong enough to withstand. So you're going to have to make the decision. And I noticed that Marceau was saying that in the reunion. Do you want this? He's saying not just going through a divorce because of what has happened already, but do you want to have to endure this fallout, this whole mess, being the front runners? You're not strong enough. No one, you know, Letitia, you said something in the reunion which shows that you have no originality. And that's nobody, you're not authentic. It's an because every storyline that you have supposedly have had in the show, it's like a repeat of whatever Melody has had. You sat up in that reunion and told Sonny that you asked your friends, has any of them ever dated Marceau when you first met Marceau? Melody said that in one of the, can't remember what show it was, but I remember her saying that. So you're still trying to copy her life, and it is disgusting. It makes my flesh crawl. And so the viewers are going to see the same thing. You did it with the blueprint, and then you denied that you did that with the blueprint when she offered the blueprint, and then you started talking about the blueprint. And then when the embrace, and you went with mommy business, but you used very your font for embrace and the font for mommy business, they were too similar. With Stormy, you did the hairline products, which was a marvelous idea for you because your girls have beautiful hair. You should have been original with that and not copied and paste what Stormy has, to the point where you left the callback information from Stormy. You've got to find whatever your niche is so people can gather around you and support you. At this point, they're not willing. Because people like things that are authentic, and you don't believe in yourself enough to know that whatever your authenticity is, that people are going to get on board with that. And that's due to low self-esteem. And you started out showing the world and the audience and the viewers that you had low self-esteem, and then you came back trying to say, I'm a boss lady, I'm a rich wife, I'm this, I'm that, but nobody buys it because you don't exude that. And this is not to buy you down or beat you down with what my opinion is. This is my observation, my perception of what you present. And I rooted for you, not against anybody else, but there was a story for you in the beginning, and that was you coming out of a woman with degrees that her husband wants to quiet her down. That was a story for you when you were trying to re-enter the workforce and be that person, but that wasn't what you signed up for with your husband. And I'm not saying that you need to stay in that same, because we change. Who we were 7 years ago is a different person than who we were 7 years before then. Every 7 years you have a growth spurt, and you become a whole different person. And so, renegotiate your contract if you can, but you know, but not by becoming somebody else, or what was somebody else's design. Let me put it like that. Become authentically who you are, who you've grown to be, but not a copycat. And that's what the show shows for you. And you are like a copycat. I mean, we could call you Xerox, because and you don't do it perfectly. So, you know, a bad copy of everything that you've done or presented on this show, you presented a bad copy. So find out who you are authentically, and then people can rally behind you. But at this point in the game, no. Stop trying to weaponize people, or stop trying to be a pawn for other people. I don't think your mama weaponized you. I think you weaponized your mom. I don't think you told Kimmy, I don't care what's going on. I want you to be 10 toes down for me. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Who says that? Who does that? That makes no sense. You know, that's not authentic. So basically what you said, lie to me. Lie to me. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Lie to me. Do you really want that? So maybe that's what you've been telling Marceau all this time. Lie to me. Regardless of whatever it is going on outside. I'm not saying what's going on in your marriage, but you've told him to lie to you. So why are you crying about him doing it now? But you know, real recognize real, and I don't think that's what you shown, and no, you haven't. And that's what keeps you in this mental state. This is about Tisha. This is about male, and that's the truth. Now, at some point, since you have the tendency to do a carbon copy, at some point in your life, you're going to have to go through this phase. And maybe it would be beneficial for you to break some chains and break free from something. And I'm not saying your marriage. I won't weigh in on anything like that. But you're gonna have to break free from something and fast, meditate, and pray. And do a proper collaboration, not one that that you're doing it like this, which is with deception and betrayal. You don't need hidden agendas. You don't have hidden agendas when you are authentic, but you're not. And that's why you see these swords here. You got a lot of swords in there. But, you know, I started out thinking that this was going to be a reading for you, but this is the reunion. But you were the culprit here. You were the culprit. That's why you put your hands over your eyes when Destiny exposed you. And then you said, it was Martell. It was Martell. It was Martell. Nobody bought that. I hope they didn't. You put your hands over your eyes. You were like, oh my gosh, I didn't think she would expose me. But she did. She exposed you because her alliance with Martell is stronger than anything that you guys can cultivate. So, with that being said, and then you tried to expose Martell. You know, to me, if you had inside knowledge of Martell being what you accused him of being, that is one of the ugliest things that you could have done. Let him, if that was what he was, then you allow him to expose himself in that manner. But whenever your back is up against the wall, your mouth becomes like like a sick gut, because it's diarrhea all over the place. You just let it run. You let it run. And then, but in exposing the people that you're trying to expose, you expose yourself. That's devilish activity. Shame on you. So, I am going to, so you got to find a balance. That's what's on the bottom here. You need to find a balance, and you can probably do that. You can find a balance, and something may come for you, but not until you find this balance. And I don't know if Melody will reconcile with you, ever find it in her heart to be, try to make something out of your relationship, but I wouldn't. I'm just going to be honest. I wouldn't. You've had too many opportunities to correct things, but it's always something. There's always something behind your back that you go back to that moment when you thought that she tried to be intimate with Marshall in your mind, and you won't let that go. And it's not even true. But because you feel, not that you are, but you feel so inferior to Melody that it was believable. Because if she did, she could have your husband, but she does not want your husband. And that's at least what you believed. Because you didn't think you were a match for her, or that you two were on equal playing grounds. So it was believable because you wanted to believe that Melody wanted something that you had, but she didn't. She didn't. At that time, she was probably trying to get rid of what she had, let alone what you had. She didn't want him. But she did think that, they were all friends and that he was a protector of her, because she thought he was part of the village. They as a couple had helped you guys as a couple. So the expectation was for him to be supportive for her. But you don't understand that concept because you never grew up around that concept. There were not people who instilled that in you. Well, that is all that I have on this. And I think this may be the last reading that I do for the show, because like I said, because of the toxicity. I hope I got all of the points out that I intended to make. I've had requests to do readings for the show, and I don't watch the show that much. I may go back and review certain aspects of the show just to give my opinion or my intuitive reading on that. And so I may go back and revisit at a request, but probably not with the main cast member leaving the show. I probably won't read the show anymore and just stick to, I may do some celebrity readings, but You know, I've always felt that this show was a bit more toxic than I wanted to get into. But I really want us to keep an eye on Melody and continue to support her. I do advise her to continue on with her security and be very aware and observant around of her surroundings. I would not allow some of the people connected with this project necessarily to partake in her energy, because I see them or I feel it's impressed upon me that they're what you call monitoring spirits, and I probably will do the next video on what a monitoring spirit is, because not only does she need to be aware of her surroundings and the energies that are around that surround her or that have access to her, but it's important that you also know that whether you are a monitoring spirit or someone is controlling your energy and making you a monitoring spirit. Okay, so that's all I have for this reading. I am Mona Me with the Third Eye Trio, and I will see you in the next video. Please and thank you.